Hey guys, what's up? It is now no longer Niner Talk, it's now Niner Network, and happy birthday to the NFL for 100 great years. Now let's just get right into the video. The Niners are 3-0. Esau, talk about the stats from week 1 for each player.
Alright, so we're going to start with the man himself, Jimmy Garoppolo. The game against the Buccaneers, he threw for 158 yards and 1 touchdown. Even in the running game, we did pretty good. Only 98 yards total. Matt Breida with 37 yards. Raheem Mostert with 40 yards and Tevin Coleman with 23 yards. Unfortunately, none of them scored a rushing touchdown that game. And then if we check our first downs, the 49ers had 17 first downs, while the Buccaneers had 21 first downs. Total yardage, we 256 yards total, and the Buccaneers had 295 total yards. Penalties, this is something we definitely need to work on. We had 11 penalties that game, while the Buccaneers had 8. And yards per play, which is last but not least, 4.3 yards per play.
Now continuing with scoring, the scoring drives, as you can see, the first 2 scoring drives for the 49ers were both field goals, which I don't want to talk too bad about that because even when we were under Harbaugh or when we were under Mike Singletary, the worst coach in history, we have always pretty much started off with field goals. We kind of rely on them, not as much as we do touchdowns, but first 2 drives for field goals. Next one, we finally got a touchdown. After that, our last scoring drive would end up with a field goal when we were on offense. We ended up winning that game 31-17, putting us 1-0 up. Quan Alexander, against his old team, gets ejected for, I don't know if I really agree with that call because he was already going to hit Jameis, and then Jameis slid. There was nothing he could do to get out of that. I don't agree with the call by the refs, but it didn't matter in the end because we still got the win. So Esau, how about you start us off with week 2 against the Bengals?
Okay, so team stats for week 2. Passing yards, we had 312 passing yards. We don't usually get 312 passing yards that much anymore ever since Colin Kaepernick. So I think we did a very good job there. I think Jimmy Garoppolo was very good that game. And next, rushing yards, phenomenal. 259 rushing yards. That's very good.
You know, I think, let me just stop you right there, sorry. I think since you're on the topic of yards, it's a good time to bring up, that was the first time that a 49ers offense has gone 500-plus yards for the first time since 2012. And remember what happened last time in 2012? We went to the Super Bowl, so who knows what's going to happen this year.
Yeah, so we go into first downs next. 27 first downs, which is a little bit more than we got against the Buccaneers. Penalties, we cut it down to 59 penalties. I think we still need to work on those. We're getting like silly holding penalties against our offensive line. And then yards per play, we got 8.4. I think that's pretty good if you ask me. And next, we go into the box score, where we check how Jimmy Garoppolo did and the rest of the team. So Jimmy Garoppolo went 17 for 25, passing was 68%, 296 yards and 3 touchdowns, but 1 interception, with a quarterback rating of 133.8. And Dante Pettis also got a throw in 1 for 1, 16 yards. And let's go to the rushing, which is I'm very excited about. Raheem Mostert, 83 yards. His longest rush was 20 yards, averaging 6.4 yards per carry. Matt Breida, 12 carries, 121 yards, 10.1 average yards for him, with a long of 34.
Yeah.
Jeff Wilson Jr., 34 yards, 3.4 per attempt, with the long rush of 14 yards and 2 touchdowns.
All right, so now let's get right into the scoring drives. First, it started off with a San Francisco touchdown, and Jimmy Garoppolo passed deep to left for Marquise Goodwin, 38 yards. That drive was only a minute and 52 seconds, which I think we could do that every time. Next score was a Bengals touchdown, which tied 7-7, but of course we know that would not help them at all. Next drive that scored, would be the San Francisco 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo, short pass out left to Raheem Mostert for 39 yards. Touchdown, Niners are up 14-7. Now on to the second quarter. Niners end up taking a 21-7 lead. After a touchdown, it was Jeff Wilson Jr. Got out 2 yards for a touchdown. That one lasted 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Next scoring drive would just be a Bengals field goal, making an 11-point game. And then the Niners will get a field goal to close out the second quarter at 24-10. Third quarter, another touchdown for the 49ers on their drive that would lead them to score. It was an 85-yard long drive. It would end up being 31-10 at the end of that. Deebo Samuel got a touchdown. Next time, they would just get a field goal, up 34-10. Then another touchdown. Again, Jeff Wilson Jr., 4-yard rushing touchdown. Fourth quarter, just a consolation touchdown for the Bengals, and the Niners would take it 41-17, being 2-0. And now let's get on to what happened yesterday against the Steelers. Esau, how about you start us off with just a little bit of what happened in the game?
Okay, so let me stop you right there. So, as you can see, most of our touchdowns against the Bengals were rushing touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about our run game going into this season?
I'm actually feeling really good because our depth of running was really supposed to just consist of Tevin Coleman, Matt Breida, and Jerick McKinnon. Of course, Jerick McKinnon ended up hurting himself again. Tevin Coleman, I don't know if I like him as our starter. Our rushing wasn't too great against Tampa Bay in Week 1, but then, this past 2 weeks, it's really been the Jeff Wilson Jr. and the Matt Breida show. And I think Raheem Mostert is playing a huge role in this too. And it's crazy because Matt Breida was supposed to be our third string running back, and then we're having this, fourth string and fifth string. And we're dominating the running game. And one reason that I love the running game so much is because when we had Jim Harbaugh, Frank Gore was beast, and we really did rely heavy on the running game. And I think it's great to see that coming back, especially now that we're 3-0.
Okay, so going to game stats against the Steelers, which was yesterday's game. Passing yards, 268 passing yards. Rushing yards, 168. But it was very good still.
Hang on, let me stop you
First
again.
downs.
Let me stop you again. Since you were just talking about passing yards, even though as a Niners fan, I would love to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo, but I think that even with Ben Roethlisberger gone, I think Crosby did a great job as the Steelers starter. He did great, and I just want to praise him for that, so you can continue, even though I hate the Steelers, but he did a great job.
Okay, so first downs, we got 26 first downs. Pretty good. Next, we go into penalties. We cut it down to 5 penalties. I believe some of them were still holding. I think we need to work on our holding, really. That's what's holding us back. And if we go to total yards, it was 436 total yards with an average of 6 yards per play. And if we go into our player stats, Jimmy Garoppolo, 71.9% throwing, with 1 touchdown, with 2 interceptions. So, Aiden, how do you feel about Jimmy Garoppolo and what he's doing up to this point of the season?
At the beginning of the season, I wasn't sure if he was really going to fulfill the role of being a starting quarterback, but I think now, I think he's really showing it, even though he is turning the ball over too much. And as I've been telling you, it's because he won't throw to George Kittle. He's too reliant on his wide receivers trying to go for the big plays. He's getting picked off. I think if he would just throw to George Kittle, we'd be safer, have less turnovers. Of course, we turned the ball over 5 times against the Steelers yesterday, 2 of them being interceptions. But despite that, I think Jimmy Garoppolo is doing great so far.
Yeah, so also one person in mind on the defensive side is our rookie, Nick Bosa. He was dominating the Steelers' offense last night. How do you feel about our defense?
I think our defense is doing great. Our D-line, especially. If it's a run, we're gonna stop it most of the time. Long pass, we're pretty okay with. There's definitely some room for improvement there, but I think the short pass is kind of what's killing us because we have a great D-line, we have a great secondary. Our safeties could use some help, but I think the short pass kills us because as soon as that goes right into the middle of the field or out left or out right, our secondary cannot tackle that well. I don't know what it is. It's just they can't. So, a short pass or maybe that goes 2 yards could, a 2-yard pass can end up going for like 30-yard touchdown. Who knows? We need some tackling practice. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. So about our corners, linebackers, and safeties, what do you think we need to improve on? Like zone defense, like staying home, or like man defense, like staying on our man?
I think both can use some improvement because as I watch, the way our man defense looks, it's kind of weak. They could just throw it if we're running man. Any team could just throw it to that player that's being guarded, and most of the time they're going to catch it. If we run zone, our safeties are usually never in position. It's going to hurt us either way, but I think we're kind of 50-50 on both. But I think we could use some more help on man-to-man.
Okay, so now we're going to our running backs against the Steelers. Matt Breida, 68 yards on 14 attempts. He averaged about 4.9 yards per carry with the long rush of 10. And Raheem Mostert, 79 yards on 12 attempts, averaging 6.6 yards per carry with the long of 19. Jeff Wilson Jr., 18 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think he's going to be a huge player for us.
Yeah, me too. All right, now for the sake of time, let's just finish off with the scoring drives. First 2 would end up being field goals for the Steelers. The next one would end up being field goal for the 49ers before they would end up on their next drive getting another rushing touchdown. Jeff Wilson, of course, he's doing great, better than any of our other running backs to put us up 10-6. Now, on the next drive in the third quarter would also be the Steelers getting a touchdown. That would be Juju Smith-Schuster getting in the back of the end zone. 13-10 Steelers, but we would get another touchdown. Jeff Wilson up the middle, 4-yard touchdown, 17-13 49ers now into the fourth quarter. It would be a deep pass to Johnson for 39 yards. And then Steelers would go up 20-7, and then with 1 minute left, Jimmy Garoppolo finds a little short pass to Dante Pettis for a 5-yard touchdown. Niners win 24-20. I just want to thank you guys for watching. Niners are 3-0. Super excited about it. Get ready to watch our next video where we got all-around news for the NFL. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.